right, folks. We're just 2 minutes away from the show we've all been waiting for, The Lion's Den. You know it's about to be crazy, interesting, and downright hilarious tonight. If you've been here before, you already know why this is one of the few shows that keeps you glued to the screen the entire time. The host, fearless. What can I say? The man's a legend. Handsome, well-built, and an intellectual powerhouse. Quick-witted doesn't even begin to describe him. This guy handles every topic like a pro and never misses a beat. And you can't forget Keenal from Black Man Travels. Deep thinker, always dropping knowledge, bringing those big conversations that really make you sit back and reflect. He's all about opening up your mind to new perspectives. Oh, and when Ronin steps in, it's a whole different vibe. The man brings balance, discipline, and humor all wrapped into one. He's the kind of guy that can crack you up 1 second and drop wisdom the next. This is grown folks talk. No nonsense, no drama. Just real, respectful conversations. They get into the deep stuff, but they always respect everyone's viewpoint. You can trust the Lion's Den to bring real, unfiltered, adult conversations with that perfect mix of intellect and fun. You've got your popcorn ready, right? Because in just about a minute, this place is gonna light up. Get comfortable, hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and make sure you're locked in. Let's go. The Lion's Den is about to start.
All right, it's almost time. I've been waiting for this all week. Is it just me, or does time slow down when you're waiting for the Lion's Den to start?
Come on, let's go. I got things to say tonight. I'm ready to hop on the panel. You better have subscribed already. If you haven't hit that subscribe button and smash the like by now, what are you waiting for? You gotta support the Den, people.
Hit that notification bell too, unless you want to miss out and hear about it later.
This is the show you don't want to miss. Every week I'm here waiting. The energy, the conversations, it's about to get real.
Tick tock, I swear this is the longest minute of my life.
Tick tock, tick tock. The panel tonight's gonna be fire. I can feel it. Who's joining tonight? Let's go. Hit that subscribe button already.
Yo, grab your popcorn, grab your drink. It's about to go down. You're not ready for what's coming. I got my snacks, my drink,
And I'm locked in.
Let's get this show started.
All right. Quiet down. The show's about to start. Everyone ready?
Silence. The Lion's Den is about to begin. Let's go.
Yo. It is Lion's Den time. It's Friday night. My brothers are out there on the road. Fearless is over in DR. You know, Keenal has just got back from his little travels and his trips. Happy Father's Day. Juneteenth for some of us. You know, happy Juneteenth for those that celebrate it. And then myself, I'm sitting over here in the Philippines, still adjusting to life. And the time zone change. So while you guys are enjoying the night, it's the middle of the morning for me. How you gentlemen doing?
It's a beautiful, hot, but it's a beautiful day. Beautiful day.
What about you, Keenal?
Oh, everything's going well, man. It's been a long week. It's Friday, and yeah, it's a beautiful day outside, and ready to have a real conversation today.
Yeah, this is going to be close to the vest, personal. I suffer from PTSD. We've had friends of ours. I've talked to you, Keenal, about close personal friends you've had that have self-deleted. Yeah. I've had fellas in the military that were totally, you would think were healthy, happy, physically fit and all that, do the same thing coming out of the military. So this is a conversation we absolutely need to have on a regular basis for brothers to understand they can reach out to us or other people that they can talk to. I've talked several people down off of ledges before over my lifetime. Best believe that. So this is one for the record books. I know it's not those exciting ones where you're seeing cheeks and buns and talking about, you know, different areas, but this is a conversation that needs to be had for sure. But I'm going to start off with a pre-video that I made up, and then we're going to go into our first statistic, and we'll start breaking things down, playing videos and some other things to kind of make it more interactive and give you guys some real basis points and statistics of you could be one of those people. Most likely you are. If you haven't talked to a therapist ever in your life, most likely you need to. We all suffer from some kind of trauma that we need to talk to somebody about.
There's a silent crisis, one that's taken the lives of our brothers, fathers, and sons. We can't ignore it any longer. From 2010 to 2022, suicide rates among men in America have steadily increased. But the burden doesn't fall equally. Among male veterans, the suicide rate now exceeds 40 per 100,000, and combat trauma, the loss of identity, and the struggle to reintegrate after service, these are silent weights carried by men who served. And yet, black men, especially those aged 18 to 34, face a crisis of their own, driven by systemic racism, community violence, and emotional isolation. Suicide is becoming the final cry in a world that won't listen. These aren't just statistics, they are real lives, and they are vanishing too soon. It's time to break the silence. Share this message, subscribe for more insights, and join the mission to save lives.
All right, here's our first statistic for tonight.
And sits at around 29.6 per 100,000. For black men, that rate appears significantly lower, around 7.7 per 100,000. But context matters. Underdiagnosis, cultural stigma, and access barriers skew that number. When we shift focus to veterans, especially male veterans, the suicide rate jumps drastically, 42.7 per 100,000, nearly 44% higher than non-veteran men. Even active duty military personnel aren't spared, with combat roles like infantry reporting rates as high as 37 per 100,000. These numbers illustrate that military service introduces a unique set of psychological burdens, and black men face additional challenges layered with historical trauma and systemic inequity.
So what do you guys think about that first statistic? In general, male population versus even black males and veterans themselves are so much higher than the general population of men when it comes to self-deletion.
I mean, you have to understand, typically, you know, black men are not accounted for in a lot of things when it comes to medical. And it's just like things like that deals with mental health. We don't take it seriously. So I always felt that, I always feel that we are underrepresented within this space because we don't talk about it. We don't share. We don't seek help. So yeah, I think I agree. And just recently, someone just here in Atlanta on Father's Day threw themselves off the expressway and killed themselves live. So it's a serious issue.
Yeah, I think a lot of the women, you know, one thing about men, a lot of times we don't talk. Women seem to have a network of people they can talk to, relate to, and, you know, cry with or whatever. And they don't feel vulnerable. With men, we just don't have that space.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of times, no one even wants to hear our issues.
That's the big one right there. You know, we're supposed to suffer in silence, as they say, as men, especially black men. Don't nobody want to hear all that. You know, you're supposed to just suck it up. I mean, we're taught that as children. Oh boy, be quiet or I'll give you something to cry about. You know, but then in our community, it's amplified because you have the old school people back in the day that didn't trust medical science with the Tuskegee test and all the things that they were doing bad to black people, kind of shied them away from getting medical treatment unless you were seriously hurt. You know, we had the old remedies and stuff like that we were still kind of leaning on. And a lot of the old, you know, big mama's house, grandma, they always had these little remedies they would give you, advice, take you to a doctor.
But my thing is this: why don't guys? This is a curiosity thing for the audience. When something happens, why don't y'all seek, you know, external help? Like, why wouldn't you seek a doctor? You know, and we can't say we're strong. I know guys that have self-deleted over relationships with females,
right?
Or their family just left them and they just felt, I can't, you know, you figure if you've been working and you're struggling and you're like, man, after my paycheck, I got $100 for the month.
Yes,
right.
And you just feel that, and no, you know, I was listening to some court stories, You know, the guy was on there with court, and he's sitting there and he's telling the judge, he says, you know, the prosecutor's like, why don't you think you have to pay child support? He said, well, I have my child 5 days out of the week. She has him like 2 times out the week. When she has him, she takes care of him. He's going on this long story about how he's doing everything for the child and he has it the majority of the time. At the end of that, the woman judge said, yep, I'll be ordering $1,000 a month child support. It's like she just waited,
but yeah,
to finish.
Didn't even care.
And the look on this dude's face was like, what the hell? Like nothing I said mattered. And it seems as though with guys, nobody wants to hear our problem. You know, it doesn't matter that at the end of the day, you come home with nothing. I mean, I've heard it where gentlemen, where they were basing child support, and I know we're not talking about child support, but we're still on that, where they were basing child support on their potential to make income. Like, you had a potential to make this. And so imagine as a man, you're only seeing, and the one guy, he was saying, sir, what you're telling me is to work more. The more I work, the less I see my children. So you'd rather for me to make money to bring money to her so I see my children less. And it was like, that's how it is. So you work harder, you don't see your children, you don't have any money for yourself, and you're living alone.
Right.
And that loneliness just has guys who are saying, you know what, it would be easier for me. Who's going to miss me when I'm gone?
Right. You're absolutely right. I'm going to go into this TED Talk. I'm going to back out of this the statistic, and I'm going to go into this TED Talk.
Divorce, debt, devastation, deadbeat, despair. There is a Black male mental health struggle. I became a therapist in therapy.
Facts.
The unsustainability of Black male trauma, Black male rage, Black male resentment is a real thing, an unsustainable thing. So what's the struggle? 1 in 4 psychologists are Black. And when I say Black, I mean that includes Black men and Black women. According to the American Psychological Association, 4% psychologists worldwide, in this country, are Black. For every 100,000 Black Americans, only 1 Black psychiatrist. 7% of Black men received any form of mental health services in the last couple years. Right? Black youth, particularly Black boys, are introduced with the struggle of mental health at a very early age.
That's a big one right there. Black youth. It starts at a very young age. A lot of us ignore it, like I said. You know, you hear the trauma of single moms raising sons. One of the negative things they say about or to their sons because they're pissed off with their sons' daddies or whatever. You just like your dad. You ain't shit. You don't think that's traumatizing? You don't think that starts to build on itself? Especially every time she gets frustrated.
I mean, it's not just the mother. What about the father not being there?
I mean, that's very true. That's very true too for the ones that had children that were fathers that didn't want to participate. But we do know the Black male statistic is most fathers do want to be present in their sons' lives. We have the best reputation of fathers that want to be in our child's life, unless they just got with a fucking pookie.
Yeah, but
You get what I'm saying?
But
That's a two-sided battle, but I don't want to go there.
yeah. Let's stay away from, because I don't want to make this a woman versus man thing, because I was raised without a father, and it wasn't that he chose not to be, that he just couldn't. But that still affected me bad. So regardless, if he chose to be in my life or not be in my life, I was affected by that.
Right.
My mother did the best she could. She didn't put me down or whatever, but there were certain things that she couldn't give me. So a lot of things I had to learn on my own. But having that emptiness, that void in my life, that will never be filled. So that's why when we get to statistics with women and men, it's very subjective.
It can be.
There's a video that I didn't bring up. There's a video of a gentleman who he's taking it out, I guess, the day he left court. He's like, I just left court and I just gave up all rights to my child. And he said, I just couldn't do it. He said, and it was his mental health. He said that the woman caused so much problems in his life. No, that's what he said. He said, I can't. He's like, she's calling the police. She's doing this. She's, blah, blah. He said, I would just rather wait until this child is 18. And if she wants to seek me out, she can. But he said, for my mental health, I have to let go. And he said, it has nothing to do with the child. He said, I just can't with this woman. She's making my life miserable. And I think a lot of times that happens where guys leave, not because they don't like their child.
Right.
It's that the woman has made it so mentally. Imagine this. You go try to pick up your child and she just don't answer the door. I don't want to, all right. One guy was driving an hour and a half to see his child. He gets there. They don't answer the door. Okay, now what? You want to do some type of contempt of court, which nothing happens. Okay, the judge just said, make sure you answer the door. And all of those things transpire over and over again. And you don't know what the woman is saying behind the scenes. They're building this resentment. So then when you finally do see your child, it's like your child becomes almost like your enemy. If you only seeing your child every other weekend and then they take 3 of those away, now what you just see it every 2 months, they're not letting you have phone calls, anything like that. Mentally on a man, it just becomes ridiculous. Here in Texas, there was a guy who his wife said that his son was trans. He's like, my son's not trans, but she convinced him that he was. And the court told him that he cannot tell his son that he's not trans. What kind of, you're a man and you at the mercy where it's not really even your child. You're just a visitor. That has to affect your mentality, that it degrades you as a man, that you can't be the father to your child. You can't be the supporter to your child. You have your child. You just spent all your money on child support. Now you pick up your child and y'all really can't do any of the enjoyment things that you want because you don't have any extra income. Now you looked at as less of a man. You don't have authority over your child. Your child's like, I only see you once a month. What you gonna tell me to do?
I don't know how many fathers let that one fly. You still my son at the end of the day. But I had a similar situation with my oldest son. Being that I never got to marry his mother, even though I proposed to her and I went in the Marine Corps because of him, every time I would go home on leave, I would have him 100% of the time. But I couldn't have him all the time. I was active in his life long distance, supported him monetarily. But again, she had her own story she would like to tell. And at one point, I just had to put it in my mind and tell him, look, you can believe whatever she says. I'm not going to argue. I will do certain things for you when you hit certain ages. When he turned 16, I helped him get his first car. When he graduated, I paid it off or got him another car, whichever way it was. And it was me getting him another. And then I said, once you have children, you'll understand the rest.
But just
My
thinking
son's
about what you just said, man.
no, my
you're
son's
saying-
38. I understand what he's saying because I just did it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm confirming he's doing it right for his mental health.
No, I'm saying what you're saying is almost like I'm gonna let your childhood grow up fucked up.
No.
No, I mean not. I'm not saying that's what you said, but in a sense, it's like you can't understand what I'm going through. So you're gonna have this fucked up childhood until you can get to be a man and go through what I just went through.
No, that's not what I said. If you listen to what I said was I'm active in his life. We have conversations all the time. I can't be there if I'm deployed. I can't be there if I'm in California, he's in Kansas. So all I can do is have a long distance relationship on the phone until I'm home on leave. Then I have him 100% of the time. I said that, right? So I'm actively in his life as much as I can be, being that we're in two different states. But some things you can't argue with long distance when she's there and you're away. But again, we're not trying to make this about paternity, trying to make this about men's mental health. But that's another layer of stress where you have a legacy that you're trying to build upon, but yet and still is being destroyed because you're not present.
And what I mean, bringing back to mental health is a lot of our sons are growing up in stressful situations because of what the parents put on them, and their mental health goes through it. And sometimes as men, all we can say to our son is, you'll learn later on. I mean, that because that's really the only advice we can give them.
Right. Unfortunately, yeah. In certain situations, it does become that.
And
Because
I'm saying in that situation,
mm-hmm.
we're creating, and I'm not saying you, I'm just saying in general, we're creating children, especially our males, with mental health issues already. So we have to keep trying to correct. You know, we're living in a world of correction instead of the stimulation, and it's so difficult. And we wonder why the men have a lot of problems, and some of the problems are what they have not dealt with as children.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on from that point. Black Man Travels, you got to follow up on that, or before we push on with this?
No, I mean, again, I'm trying to stay away from this whole women men thing. It's just I'm not participating in that. It's like, you know, mental health it goes beyond that. You know,
just at one point. It's one point of many.
Yeah. So I stay quiet. Okay,
let's go ahead and push through with this man right here, and then we'll go to your videos and bring out some different points that are going on currently.
Treated in elementary school by suspensions or special education referrals. What's the black struggle? That's it. The inadequacy of practitioners who look like black men, who have a unique experience with mental health. Right? What does that mean for all of us? The current mental health industry does not sustain black male trauma, black male rage, black male resentment, which means we have to look at the factors that are uniquely attributed to black males in this country. What makes me qualified to talk about black male mental health struggle? Well, beyond the obvious of being a black male, I crashed in 2008, the year the mortgage industry crashed, the real estate market, right? That same year, my mother informed me she had stage 4 cancer. In 2009, I became a father for the 4th time. But this time was unique because the child was already 21 years old, which means right before my 17th birthday, I had a child. In 2010, my mother ended up passing away from cancer. I moved her from Chicago to Georgia before the diagnosis to live out her golden years under the sun of the South, to work with me and for me. She ended up passing. In 2011, I went to what I now label as a very eventful divorce. I lost everything. I walked away from everything. I lost my family, my spouse at the time away from the children, assets, things of that nature. In 2012, I experienced my very first panic attack.
I'm going to end that right there. If you guys didn't catch it, 4-year period of time of all these different things systemically happening to him, financially, emotionally, and everything else when it comes to relationship and his support structure, his resources. He said, and he used the proper word, I crashed out. There's one thing about us as men, we put everything on our backs, and we don't have a lot of support structures behind us. So the minute you hit that top tier level of pressure, there's a long way down. Ain't nobody there to catch you. You feel like you're by yourself. So you start to crash out. And that's what I was talking about earlier with a lot of the military guys I've talked down off of walls because they crash out. They don't realize it. They compartmentalize all their issues from being in combat, losing guys, all the different things they were in charge of, leaving all that ability and coming to the civilian world, having to prioritize their family and just picking up another mission. But none of that stuff gets dealt with until it comes to a tipping point. And you're going to crash out. You ain't going to be able to help yourself unless you preempt it by starting to go through therapy now, starting to address some of the issues. What do you guys say about this guy's story and where he picked up the point where he realized he was crashing out?
Shit, I had a crashed out moment. I had a crashed out moment where I lost everything. Right. And I will never forget it, man. It's just shit was just falling apart, going through divorce. You know, I take accountability for that. Losing the football program that I built, a championship program, lost that. Lost a remote job with Verizon. I was making $75 an hour at the time. Man, everything was just falling apart. And I was just like a walking time bomb, literally. And I'm a type of person, man, I hold things, but it's just a matter of time I let that shit out. And when I let it out, I just black out. I black the fuck out. Yes. And it's just like, I'm down for whatever. And it just happened. I did it at a kid's football game. I was choking a dude out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. He thought he could come in my face. My friend. I mean, it's funny now because my friends say, like, dude, your eyes just turned black. And I was yelling, screaming while choking this dude. And I didn't know I was choking him. I crashed out. I went home. The police was looking for me. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. It was crazy. Lucky for me, I didn't get arrested. Nothing serious.
That's the point right there.
Yeah. So lucky for me, it didn't stick. But when you have that crash out moment, you don't know when it's gonna happen. When I say literally, when you are a time bomb, you just don't know when it's gonna happen. It could crash out in your car. You could crash out at your job, at the damn restaurant. You don't know because you're literally like a hair trigger away for someone saying something negative to you, disrespecting you, bumping into you, and you like, fuck it. You just throw your hands in the air, fuck it, whatever happens, happens.
Don't say you about to have that ninja moment,
dude. And it's true, man. And it's just like people don't realize, like, we carry so much weight on us, and you just never know. And that's why I'm a strong believer. I don't say anything negative to another person when I'm out. I show my respect. If I do something, if I bump into you by accident, my apologies. I'm not afraid to be the bigger person. Excuse me. Sorry. Because you don't know, that person may be one step away from him walking back to his car, getting that that AK or whatever weapon he has, come back into that store and shoot it up. You just don't know. So I think it's important that, pay attention to the signs, especially if someone like yourself that's going through something, because you know that your personality, your temperament could actually push you to the edge. Just be mindful of that, because I've been through it. I mean, I got friends would tell you the shit I was doing, man. And this is what, 2012, 2013? This is like 10 years ago. And that's why I don't do well with, like, y'all talking about the trope, man. Dude, I'm a type of person, man, on site. It's just like, hey, I'll black out. All right, let's go. But lucky for me, you know, kids, all that's calming my ass down. Even my oldest son told me, it's like, Dad, my oldest son is 22. He's like, you've changed a lot. You were a hothead. And it's just like, to see me, my 22-year-old see me with my youngest son, it's like, man, you're so different. So guys, man, that crash out thing is real. You just never know when that person's gonna just go crazy.
Yeah. What about you, Fearless?
I'm lucky I crashed out young. I just went through so much shit younger that it helped me when I got older. So the things that, you know, I thought were important, and, you know, I found out that weren't really important. So it helped me along the way where I could see the signs as I got older. And then it just became, and that's why sometimes it is very difficult for me to put myself in to feel empathetic for others, because where I know where I came from and had to go, when I hear the non-sad story, I can't feel sad for it. You know, I just had this same conversation with my brother when I went up to see him, and we were talking about it. And I was like, I can't feel sorry for them. What you want me to do? Like, I know, you know what I've been through.
Yeah.
And so I can't feel empathy for somebody saying, I can, or I won't, or I don't have time for it. Because to me, it becomes a mental excuse. And, you know, I know that everyone, I think what I had to get to understand it, everyone does not handle pressure the same way. So, you know, that is one other thing that I've done. And so, you know, when you've, I think, you know, when you've gotten to a point where you've
just dropped, Fearless. Oh, there you go. You're back.
Yeah, when you've lost a lot of things and you had to come back, you just start to value some things just aren't as important. You know, not worth fighting for it. I'm not gonna argue over that.
Right.
But I you know, when the psychiatrist or psychologist used to say, I do think it does shape me. And
it does.
In one way it shapes me is like I've been broke, poor, you know, like, and so even now I've saved so much of my money, you know, put into retirement, put in this, put in that, so that I never have to go back to that. Or if something happened, that I'm preparing for that, you know, and I do it, you know, and I've noticed, and I had to say something, and I've done it so much that I had to actually correct my wife, and it kind of go off on her when we were somewhere, and it was like a nice restaurant, and I'm like, all right, go ahead and get something. And I could see when she ordered it, it really wasn't what she wanted. She was getting the cheapest thing on the menu, you know, because it's like, well, I'm just going to get this so we don't spend that much money. I'm like, what are you doing that for? But subconsciously, I had done that. Even though I make money, I had always like, oh, well, you know, shit, I'm going to go happy hour because it's half off price. Yeah, I'm going to use this coupon for this. I had just done it so much.
Oh, no, you're not the coupon guy, are you?
Oh, I'm the coupon guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You had the gift card thing, too. You always do the gift card thing.
Yeah, I told you when I told you I had to go down and drive to Houston. What I did was I went to Kroger's. I got my Airbnb where I'm going to stay. That gave me $1 off my gas. And when I drove down to Houston, I fueled up at Kroger's. We came back, saved me $18 both ways, $36.
Right.
I mean, that's how ingrained it has been because I've lived like that.
Right. Here, let me read the first super chat, and then this is directed towards Black Man Travels. Thank you, Darnell, for the first $5 super chat of the night. Appreciate you, brother, for the support of the channel and the support of the show. At Black Man Travels, when you got into this conflict, did you have tunnel vision, or it looked like you were staring into a peephole at yourself?
I had tunnel vision, man. Everything just went black. Like all I saw was black, like darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And like my friend was telling me that, like, it had to take a lot of dudes to get me off of this dude. And I had a good grip on it and I wouldn't let go. And I was like, the thing is, I don't remember ever even doing that.
Right.
But it's just like, you never know what someone is capable of actually doing. So that's why I was like, I tell people, and I tell my sons, you know, be careful, man. You just never know when that person is literally on the edge. And you may be that person that actually tips him over. Or her. Shit, nowadays.
That's very true. There's a lot of chicks that blank out. I blacked out myself. I call it red out because I did shit I couldn't even remember. They had to tell me the next day what the fuck I did. You know, did you know you did? I said, I ain't know shit. I don't know what the fuck. You're going to have to tell me what I did. I literally would blank out. I wouldn't remember what I did. You had to tell me. You pushed me to that limit. But I'm going to go to another statistic because we don't want to just play videos. We want to get into the meat of what's really going on. So I'm going to play this next statistic. Suicide rates have climbed steadily for all male groups. From 2010 to 2022, the general male population saw a gradual rise, about 6 points in 12 years. For veterans, however, the spike is sharper and more alarming, moving from the high 20s to nearly 43 per 100,000. Even black men, historically underrepresented in these figures, are showing a consistent upward trend. These aren't just statistical movements. They represent worsening conditions, emotional pressure, and a gap in mental health intervention across racial and service-based lines.
Now let's examine.
All right. We're gonna...
Does that have to do with, you know, I can only talk about the war stories. You know, a guy says, man, I was just in Iran or Iraq, and I was in control of $1 million machinery, and I come here and you tell me I can't even control a $100 machinery.
You at a fast food restaurant. That's all you good for. You control $1 million worth of gear. You commanded hundreds or thousands of men. You get what I'm saying? And you qualify for what? Burger King. The hell? You know, when you first get out, because you're still struggling to establish yourself in the civilian world. And a lot of the training that you got in the military world doesn't transition easily over to civilian job titles initially. Now, a lot of companies have taken that in consideration. When I got out, I jumped from running a whole tech department to working at CompUSA as a sales rep. When I could have ran their whole tech department. I got into government sales and blah, 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 on and on, but I got into sales from running network infrastructure back when it was 2-pair wire. I've been fixing computers since 88. Hold on. So, I mean, I had been running a lot of infrastructure. I've been in the computer background. Before they came out with SCIC and different certifications for network infrastructure, I was doing that. I established the standards for it. You know, does that transition to civilian world? They don't know. They don't care. You know, so yeah, it's a big lack of communication between government and civilian experiences, to where a lot of those guys that commanded people, you're already in management level. When you're commanding people in a pressure situation versus just a regular civilian job, you know, it's just a different level of operation. Go ahead.
No, the question or this thing here says, men cry too. So I want to ask you, when the last time y'all cried?
Shit. Shit, it depends now. I let that shit ride out, man. If I'm going through something, I let it out, man. I don't care. Like shit, I'm lifting weights, bench pressing, whatever. Is what it is. If I'm going through something, I'll let it out. I'm not afraid to talk about it because I realize what's the end results if I don't let it go.
Yeah, same thing with me. I don't try to hold that stuff in anymore. I've gone through therapy. I'm still on my meds in certain situations. I just dose up if I have to, but you know, I've learned to recognize the issue before it becomes too much. And either, like I said, like Black Man said, is either go work out, go for a long walk, do something to kind of let that feeling out, and instead of keeping it compartmentalized until it boils over to being something that you can't control. You know, what about yourself?
Well, I mean, I know we're talking about families and stuff. So, recently I had to go to the memorial service of my niece, and she had committed suicide. So it's weird because I made the funeral programs, I made the video tribute, and during none of those times, I guess I looked at it as like business, like, oh,
Right.
I'm doing this. And so during none of those times, it really affected me until I had got to the memorial service, and we were giving basically speeches, talking about our times. And I just thought, I mean, it just came out, one, because I seen how hurt my brother and my nephew was, and it was just, that on top of you always think there's something I could have done, and it's just a thing inside. And I know the saddest part, that I just said this to my brother, the saddest part, and maybe how I've even dealt with it, is afterward, like I just act like it didn't happen. I just erased it from it ever happened. And so I know it's a weird, crazy thing, and people say they don't, but I've noticed that's how I've dealt with it. It's just,
I mean, I don't know if you remember about a year or two ago, this meme that came out a while ago about your mental health and actually addressing it. Because if you were to die today, within 2 weeks, your family would stop grieving. Even your significant wife would start laughing again from jokes. Your job will replace you in a matter of days. So why are you killing yourself at the end of the day? Type of thing. You remember that?
yeah.
Same difference. Same difference. So at the end of the day, the pressure we put on ourselves is because of what society dictates is normal, when it's really not. It's abnormal. We are taught to dismiss things for rewards, money, access to certain things, and all these other things. But really, those rewards are causing us trauma. Those rewards are causing us not to attend to our needs, having a peaceful time, quality time with your family. Those things that build good mental health, they're distracting you from those. So you got to have a level set of things that make you money and are supposed to push your family to where you want them to be. But you got to have quality time for yourself, your family, and other things too. So you got to find that middle ground, whatever it is, to bring your peace. And I told you, I gave up a damn near $600,000 job. Started over. I didn't give a fuck. So I found a level where I could be happy with the type of money I needed to have without having to struggle to make it. I just wanted to coast. I was done pressuring myself. I was done putting myself into a society idea of success in a bucket that I need to be in. I don't conform to society's ideas of success. I just refuse to. What about you, Black Man Travels?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I'm the first to admit I've dealt with my depression's issue. I've been, clinically diagnosed with depression at one point. But I always found ways to self-medicate. Never used drugs. Never felt that I need to jump on pills. I remember one doctor gave me a shitload of prescription to take, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. So, but I also understand that my personality doesn't do well with stress. I told my wife this, and I told her if it gets to a point where I feel too stressed out, and you're not giving me not the peace, but if you making the situation more worse than what it is, I'm gonna leave you.
Oh shit! I said that.
I didn't say we all three have said the same thing. I will walk cold away.
No, guys, understand this. You know, I told her straight up, I'll divorce you. And the thing is, I'll make sure you still get your papers. I was like, hey, I'll make sure I won't even fight it. Whatever's meant for you, divorce. All right, cool. I don't care about that stuff because I only got one life to live, and I want to protect it. So if you want to take the house, keys, whatever, savings, take it. You can have it all because I've started over so many damn times. Starting over is nothing to me.
Exactly.
So for me, it's just understanding that I have to protect my peace. During the pandemic, I had a nice job. I mean, I was above the 200K, but I was stressed out every fucking day. I was literally stressed out every day. One day, I woke up from a panic attack. I had a panic attack while sleeping, not knowing that was a precursor to a potential heart attack. And I remember I called my sister. I'm like, yo, why I'm sweating? I woke up sweating. Couldn't breathe. My heart's pumping real hard. She's like, you probably experienced a heart attack, but it's not a heart attack. It's a panic attack, an anxiety attack. And I kept experiencing this a couple of more times. And it got to the point it was the job. So one day I drove to work and I got to the parking lot, 8:30, and I sat in the parking lot for 2 hours. Something could not make me open that damn car door. I sat in the car and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. I'm tired. Like I'm stressed out, can't sleep. One thing, guys, when I'm stressed out, I eat. That like my coping is eating. So I was eating a lot. I was eating Chick-fil-A. Like before I even have dinner, I'll stop by Chick-fil-A, get me a damn meal, then have dinner afterwards. So I knew right there that was a bad sign. So I sat in the car. Then something told me like, write your letter. So I'm writing my email in the car outside in the parking lot, and I sent my 2 weeks notice in the parking lot. I drove home. Guess what, guys? I slept for 10 hours straight. Yeah. I came home. I didn't even take my clothes off. I took my shoes off, got on the bed. I didn't wake up to the night until almost midnight the next day. I mean, midnight the same day. That showed you how much stress I was carrying. And by me letting go for the first time with that damn job, I slept. So guys, sometimes there are a lot of signs that, that we ignore from our bodies, from from other social cues that that's happening around us that let us know, hey, listen, this is not a good situation, regardless of how much you're getting paid or how much this person is around you. Sometimes you gotta let that shit go.
Right.
What did I tell you, Ronin, when I got back? I was like, man, I spent 3 days sleep.
Yeah.
I was like, because I don't think other people understand, and I had to just break this down, even to the wife. Just what you said, Kanal. I said, look, man, my doctor has told me you got stress. I said, when I met you, I had a head full of hair. I ain't got none now. I said, you don't understand what I go through even on a daily, because they just have no idea. I said, I'm watching the kid. I'm doing half the work. When I get off, I got to do the other half. I don't have time to get up and exercise. I don't have time to do the things that I do. And if I go down, it all goes down. I said, so do not put any undue stress on me. I said, because I can't, I won't roll with it. Because I said something like, I know I mentioned something like, oh, I'm going to go travel, or maybe go to Colombia for the Afro Latina Fest. And she caught an attitude. And I said, I don't do nothing. I haven't been anywhere. For a year, I haven't even traveled. I said, I'm going to let you know, don't Don't even try to make a choice between what I do. I do too much. And there was a dude today, and I wish I could bring this up from work because I was online and I was like, oh man, my vacation starts, today. I said, but I'm gonna try to jump online. Like Tuesday, we had a meeting to get some things done to help you out. And this dude's name is Fu. It's a crazy last name because you're like, man, you a fool. The last he's like, man, stop being a fool. And he broke it down to me. He said, look, do not get online. He said, man, he said the reason a lot of guys burn out is because they never detach.
Yes.
And a lot of us don't. We don't even from family or whatever it is, we don't detach. And sometimes you need that time to yourself to just say, I need to be away. I need to take care of me. Because the sad thing is, people, and they won't even realize what you do until you're gone. And then they're going to find somebody to replace you to do what you did.
All facts.
And be like, yeah, Fearless did a lot. But shoot, Fearful, my new dude, he doing it too. I taught him how to do it. And so,
right.
And it's your life. And it is crazy that we sacrifice so much for other people. Sometimes it'd be nice if we just had like another life. Oh, I did all this in the first one, and I'm gonna do something for myself in the second one. But we don't have that. We got this one to really do what we need to for ourselves. So why aren't we enjoying our lives? Sometimes we got to take that time to enjoy our lives.
Hello, that's why I'm sitting in the Philippines right now. I'm enjoying my damn life. Thank you, Darnell, for the next $5 super chat. He said 25 December 2019, watching It's a Wonderful Life. Last time I cried. That movie used to always make me cry until my glaucoma. I can't cry since. Okay. Damn. That's sad that you can't cry. Hopefully you got some other outlet than tearing it out. You know what I'm saying? But thank you for the $5 super chat. Yeah. I mean, everybody needs to sit there and figure out when's the last time, so you trying to be a man, suck it up, did you let that shit out? And who did you do it around? Or did you have to do it in silence by yourself? That's the question. Did you have people you could go to do that? Did you have a circle of friends that you trusted wasn't going to clown you after the fact? Or a woman that was going to use it against you after you did it later when you were at your weakest point because y'all were having an argument?
I think sometimes, well, I mean, I think we do have these people in our corner. We just don't talk about it. We don't tell them. So we don't know that, they're going to be there to listen to us. So sometimes we just keep it to ourselves. Even our loved ones and good friends don't know about our current situation. Like I shared before, I mean, this is 2015. I'm in Medellin, 2015. I'm breaking down in front of a stranger. I was going through my whole divorce situation. I couldn't see my kids, none of that. I was going through a lot, but somehow I met a cool guy from my group. He met me in Medellin. We partied and have a good time. I remember in the morning, he invited me to check out his spot, and we're staying in the same building in Medellin. I go to the spot, we just talk about last night. We had a good time last night. Then we start talking about some other stuff. And next thing you know, bro, I just broke down. And guess what he did? He didn't say anything. He just kept saying, let it all out. And
there you go.
And shout out to Will, Big Will. I mean, he's a retired Air Force veteran. And he's like, don't hold that shit in, let it all out. So he kind of let me let it all out. And we talked for like 4 hours, man, in Medellin, in the damn room, just talking.
Shout out to Big Will for understanding and been there before it.
Yeah.
To let you get it out. Damn.
And guess what? Afterwards, we went out and had a good time.
Hello.
Felt better. So it's just like sometimes you just never know what you're going through, but also you're finding a person that may not judge you based on what you're going through. Because one thing is like it's funny. Based on my social media feed, everyone thinks I'm living this amazing life. Like, I'm traveling around the world, especially within the past 10 years. And I've been, globe trotting, digital nomad, traveling here, traveling there, or, me with the ladies, now with a wife. I share my experiences with people. And people think like, man, Kanal, I want to have a life like yours. I'm like, dude, like I've gone through a lot of shit.
Right.
And the thing is, like, Fearless, we met last year. He came to Atlanta, Georgia, and we had the time to talk, and again, like what you see on social media is not always the truth. Like when I told you guys I got let go wrongly, wrongfully let go, and I was going through my situation. Again, no one would never know that if they look at my social media life. They think my life is amazing. But I'm like, man, you don't fights, a lot of crawling, a lot of start overs, do-overs, reset. But at the same time, I learned to appreciate my travels. Like traveling was my therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So when I travel and I meet other men that's going through some shit, talk to me, bro. But at the same time, I don't want to hear your petty, like your pity party. Like, what is your solution now? Like, what are you going to do to get yourself out of it? I've met guys overseas just talk about, they're just mad. Like, they just stay mad. They're like, nigga, you around nothing but beautiful women, great food, sun, beach, and water, still mad. And these are the people I try to stay away from, because I know for a fact that you're not taking any steps to get yourself out of this situation. You're okay in being in this situation, and you want to bring other people around that. Me personally, I don't want to be around that, because I do take on other people's energy. So if I know that if you're on some fuck shit, I can't be around you.
Yeah, I think I go for two reasons when I travel. One, the positive would be the inspiration and things I can get. But the first time I traveled was, I think, to Jamaica. And I remember meeting this dude, and he took us to his home, and it was literally like a dirt floor shack. And just looking at him, you would have never known it, because he always smiled. He was always happy. I was like, man, how can somebody who doesn't have anything, and what I consider anything was material stuff, be so happy? And it just let me know that what I thought was important isn't important to everyone else. And I need those experiences to sometimes humble me. And that's to get my mental health back, to say, all right, what if I did have to start all over? What? It ain't something that I would be fun doing, but I've done that before. All right, I can do that. I'm okay. And so I think what happens is it isn't us that is afraid to start all over. It's what we fear other people would think of us.
That's the word right there.
Mm-hmm. Because if I didn't have a wife and kid, I could live small. I could live in a studio and not really have a lot of things. I wouldn't need anything. I'm like, I'm cool. But it's for the other people I think we do stuff for.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, let's get to this next statistic, and then we'll talk about it, and we'll play some more videos that Kanal sent. I don't want to keep on drilling on the statistics alone.
Suicide rates among male veterans broken down by age. The highest risk lies with young veterans aged 18 to 34, whose rate steadily climbs beyond 50 per 100,000. The middle-age group, 35 to 54, follows closely, hovering in the mid-30s. Even those 55 and older, often assumed to be emotionally stable, show a troubling trend, crossing 28 per 100,000 by 2022. This tells us that trauma doesn't fade with age, it evolves, and transition into civilian life is not a fixed moment, but a lifelong adjustment.
Among Black men, the patterns. So I wanted to play that for a couple reasons. I would mess with a couple people on panels, and I would say, yo, I'm 57 years old. Get here first before you start talking. Because life ain't guaranteed. You ain't guaranteed to wake up a day, let alone make it to our ages as we get older. So y'all might say, oh, you OGs, y'all don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. It was a struggle to get here. It's a struggle to be here. We're all Black men coming out of different communities. I was born in Baltimore, Maryland. If you know anything about that, You know, Kanal came over here on a boat. Fearless had his own challenges. We're all sitting here, aged. Life has life. And we sitting here trying to instill some things in you guys to let you know it ain't so easy to get here. We got so many things in society built up against us to even make it to our ages now. You know, so I feel blessed, but at the same time, it wasn't easy getting here. And I'm sure you guys feel the same way. And it looks like the younger guys are being stressed out even more. So, you know, that chart says a lot. From 18 to 34 is the highest rate of self-deletion. It ain't the OGs, it's you guys, the younger guys that we're trying to reach out to. They're the ones that are actually having the problems because you have nobody to talk to, or you feel like you don't have anybody to talk to. You don't feel like you have anybody backing you, whatever it is. And obviously you're being discouraged to go and get the help you need. So from some OGs sitting here on this panel, the ones that are listening, I don't care what your age is, you still have gone through some things and you might want to sit down and talk to somebody.
And it's not to get religious, but if you, even in the Bible, when men went off to war, they weren't allowed back in the city for 7 days. They had to stay outside of the city, separate themselves, and it was called their purification. Mm-hmm. And it was really to aid in their psychological transition from the battleground to get back, you know, to regular life. So it was a whole separation. You didn't, you know, after war, you didn't enter the city. And we don't do that. And this is back in those days that we mentally had to reevaluate ourselves. But as men, we don't. I mean, Kanal, even I know you had lost your job, but I bet the pressure was on you, not like, oh man, you know, was it all right? Was it this? It's almost like, well, when you gonna get another job?
Yeah.
It's no downtime. There's no
downtime, man. I mean, when you go through this situation, like you don't think about yourself. You think about the loved ones that surround you, like your responsibility. So that's the extra added pressure that you have. So you don't got time to like really soak everything in. It's like, okay, what's my next move? And a lot of men go through that. And sometimes, depending on their skill set, they may not have that next opportunity to make that type of money. So, yeah, man, it's a scary thing, man. It's a scary thing to experience on your own. You don't have other like-minded brothers to understand what you're going through. And you feel like the world is caving on you, man. It's like, shit. That time when I went through that process and you guys were there for me, I mean, bro, I was stressing the fuck out. I mean, I didn't even want to go home.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like.
Why is it that? And this is not you. I'm not saying this.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean,
but why is it that we feel like less of a man? We feel like I can't provide. I can't do this. Other people have gone through it. If your girl lost a job, nobody say, "Oh, you're not a woman no more." But why is it we feel like I didn't provide? Something happened. It's like that whole responsibility falls on us. And if we can't, if something happens, well, then we're not men. I mean, that's
yeah. It's just the way society has programmed us, like we said. Especially in our community alone. We're supposed to be the providers, protectors, and there's no excuse. If a man doesn't work, he doesn't eat, and all these things that are just beat into us from childhood that we have so much heaped up on our backs, beside for looking like failures to our significant others. And hopefully you married one that ain't gonna hold it over your head like you some kind of deadbeat. You know what I mean? Because you got some of those too. The minute you fail, all of a sudden they're looking for the exit. They ain't gonna hold on for a minute. And we've had some of these YouTube channels and TikTokers where the girl says the man couldn't make any money. What did she say? She was gonna leave, Fearless, right? The minute he wasn't able to provide whatever the lifestyle she wanted, he's out. A lot of these kids are growing up in that. They don't have those faithful women anymore. They're all based on financial or monetary needs. It ain't about love and working together and she's your rib and your back. Hell with that. You know, and it comes down to this first video we're going to show that Kanal sent, and it was based on the brother that jumped in Atlanta.
I don't know what he was going through, y'all, but Lord have mercy.
I just hope nobody has to go through that.
Yeah. And again, that happened during Father's Day. And I seen some other like real time videos, and it's very graphic. And yeah, a lot of black men.
Know what he's going through, what was going through his mind, and it's sad.
Yes. Yeah, I get the flex now. I got somebody coming to get my drinks and giving me ice. Hey. Yeah. All right, here's the next video.
When I would go to the doctor be like, okay, yeah, you can't sleep. I'll see you in 4 months. Motherfucker, I just told you I couldn't sleep. Mm-hmm. And you say you can't see me for another fucking 4 months as much as I'm playing your black ass? Shit. So Method said I couldn't sleep either, Banner. He said, so what I started doing is getting up going to the gym. He said the gym in New York opened at 4:30. Mm-hmm. And so, bro, when he told me that, bro, I just started going to the gym every fucking day. Bro, even if I was super depressed or whatever, I would just go sit in the fucking parking lot. But I wouldn't miss that fucking gym. There's a book called Atomic Habits. And dude said something so powerful in that motherfucking book. He said, even if you ain't gonna do but one pull-up, do that one. Because when you don't do that one, then that's when it starts. It unravels. You won't do none ever, right? So he said, even if you get on a treadmill for 2 seconds, just get on the fucking treadmill, bro. And no bullshit, I started going every day. Right. I said, I don't care how fucking sad I am, I'm gonna get in this fucking gym. And then one day, bro, it clicked to me, bro, that I am not gonna let nobody, I don't care if it's my mother, and I love my mother more than any of you motherfuckers on this planet, but I'm not even letting my mother take my happiness away. Right. Bro, no bullshit. If a person doesn't have a good spirit, if they not on this shit, I don't even want you around me, bro.
I just said that.
Facts.
I just said that. I mean, literally, I'm at a point in my life, man. Listen, man, if you're on that negative shit, oh, women this, women that, or all this other extra shit, I ain't got time for it, man. It's just too much negativity out there to succumb myself into that. So if you're not about, hey, what can we do to become better? You know, going to the gym together, traveling together, like making things happen. That's what I'm on. If you're on some crybaby shit, dude, I'm gonna call you a crybaby for one, and two, get the fuck away from me. It's just like, I'm good, man.
That's why I can't listen to that other channel, man. I'm like, God, are they back to? I mean, everything is a problem. It's fun, like for a second, but then it gets like it's like you first watch Jerry Springer, and you're like, oh yeah, that's entertaining, yeah. And then after a while, you're like, oh man, y'all doing this shit again?
I can't hear that. Yeah, I can't hear that crap.
Like this, what we doing again? Nah, come on now.
We're gonna follow that video with another one from I think it was David Banner again.
I went through the worst depression that I ever went through in my life. And motherfuckers really showed me their ass. Family, friends, the music industry, everything. They really showed me their ass. And I called Method Man. I was just like, hey, bro, I can't sleep, dog. And Method said I went through the same shit. And he said when I wasn't sleeping but 2 hours a night, Nori. Wow. And start fucking with my mind. I ain't gonna even bullshit you. Method said I couldn't sleep either, Banner. And he said, so what I started doing is getting up going to the gym. He said the gym in New York opened at 4:30. And so, bro, when he told me that, bro, I just started going to the gym every fucking day. Bro, even if I was super depressed or whatever, I would just go sit in the fucking parking lot. But I wouldn't miss that fucking gym. There's a book called Atomic Habits. And dude said something so powerful in that motherfucking.
He's kind of repeating the first story, so
yeah.
But yeah, you got to get into the rhythm. You got to get in habits and start. What do they say? My boy used to tell me, if you can do something for 9 to 10 days in a row, it becomes more permanent. So if you can just get in a habit of trying to do something for the first 9 days, it's going to start formulating a habit.
I mean, I totally agree in regards to the gym situation, guys. If you're going through something, go to the gym. If you're happy, go to the gym. If you're sad, go to the gym. If you're bored, go to the gym. There's nothing but good could come out of you going to the gym. So you have nothing to lose, man. If you're going through a heartbreak, go to the gym. If you got a job promotion, go to the gym. Health is wealth, man. You take care of your body and your mind and your emotions, man, you're in a good place.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think a lot of us just don't and that's why sometimes I'm against when people have the home gyms, because it's there. It's like, oh, I ain't go at 8, I'm gonna go at 9. If something happened at 9, I'm gonna go at 10. When I have to leave the house, if I leave and I gotta drive to the gym and I'm there, I gotta make something happen now.
Yeah.
You know, the fact is, when it's in your house and you're not doing it, I'm like, if I stay here, I might not get everything I need to done, or something else will end up distracting me. And I'm like, nah, I'm here. And I even got in the habit of just turning off my phone. I just put the music on. I don't answer nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. And I just want to do my business. I don't want to listen to, because a phone call will come or some beep. Nope, I ain't got time for it. I don't have time. So it's sad that we get to that point.
There's our next $5 super chat from Darnell, who's basically becoming the show sponsor. $5 at a time. Appreciate your $5 super chat. He said, look up Erickson stages of development. Stage number 6, 18 to 40. Men who fail or have difficulty in this stage develop mental health issues. I don't know what the stage all involves in psychology, but I'll look that up and see what it says. But yeah, if you're failing, and like I said, and that's the biggest thing we're always taught to do. If you fail or if you fall off your bike, get back up and get back on the bike. Don't fear the bike. Don't have the fear of falling. Just keep pressing yourself. And a lot of people fear the pain. They're fearing the pain more than trying to get the achievement. And as men, we're kind of taught. I used to say life is pain for men, not pleasure. Life is pain. Some of the women can get away with not being in pain, but you got to understand that in early life, as a boy growing up into a man, life ain't easy for us. So get used to it. Get used to the pain. Revel in it. Expect it, but don't let it beat you down.
I think they're not raising the kids like that no more, man. And I think you have to raise boys different than girls. As a kid, you get all that energy out. You go down, you play on the tree, you fall out the tree, you do all those things that build you up so that when the hard time comes, you're prepared for it. You don't make the football team, you don't make this, you get kicked out. But we've changed it so much that we're not raising our boys like that anymore. It's to sit still, be quiet. And that's just not how boys become men.
Or the participation trophy. No, you didn't get first, second, or third. You don't get jack.
Mm-hmm. So our society is making a lot of us weaker. It's not raising us with those key values anymore. So.
All right, here's the next stat. I can hear my girl down there playing the video back. She's behind, but something different, but just as urgent. Young black men aged 18 to 34 carry the heaviest burden. Their rate has increased from around 6.2 to nearly 9.0 per 100.
Suicide rates for black men.
Demand a culturally specific, age-sensitive approach to mental health outreach and support. We're going to finish this off.
In this final chart, we compare suicide rates for black men and veterans side by side by age group. The difference is stark. A young veteran is nearly 6 times more likely to die by suicide than his civilian black counterpart. Middle-aged veterans also outpace black civilians by almost 5 to 1. What does this mean? It means both groups face unique, crushing mental health challenges, but veterans experience an intensity and pace of trauma that escalates risk dramatically. However, both groups, young black men and young veterans, are in urgent need of targeted intervention, trusted voices, and real support.
And this is an advertisement for not going into the military.
You right about that. It is. I mean, you're already traumatically as a black person. I think you already have PTSD growing up, because as a young black man, you're already taught how to act around police, not to speak loudly, not to carry yourself a certain way in front of a certain type of person, because you're always fearful of being arrested or harassed or this, that, and the other thing. So we already have these paranoias about ourselves. Then when you get into the American military, it is racist. Let me tell you that first off. Okay, they do look at your skin tone. Let me tell you that secondly. So you not only had to fight that, but now you're in American military where it's 10 times more competitive. You got all these alpha male types, or quote unquote think they're alpha male types in the military, trying to tell you what the hell to do because they were there more time in service, more time in rank. Even though you might be smarter than them, it doesn't matter. They know how the system works, and they use that system to beat you down even more. So yeah, it's a dirty game being in the military. I loved it. Loved every minute of it. I learned how to play the game just as good as anybody else. But yeah, it's rough. And so that lets you know, American military, I don't care if you white, black, yellow, tan, y'all have it just as bad, if not worse, than some of the brothers out there. Not to distract from black men, but overall men in itself, because of the level that we put ourselves in for service, it's amplified by time you come out. The amount of trauma that you subjected yourself to. Go ahead.
No, that might not be where I want to go. Shit. That's a lot of socially it just seems like you're not, I guess you're bettering yourself, but God, oh.
Yeah, you bettering yourself, but you're damaging yourself. The one thing the military gets you at the best time and the best condition of your life, and they will use you up. Either you make it out in 20 years in great health, or you make it out by medical discharge.
I already told my son, he was considering, I said, hey, if you're going to join the military, make sure you join the Air Force, man. Respect to my Marines and Army, National Guards, like, hey.
I ain't even offended because my son wanted to be a sniper, a scout sniper in the Marine Corps. Nope. You going in as an officer. You going to college first. Ain't no damn way I'm letting you go in enlisted. Because I actually dropped out of college and went enlisted when they could have told me, the recruiter could have said, well, you can stay in and just go through ROTC. No, he wanted the number. He literally let me drop out of college and go in enlisted. So yeah, I'll tell you in a heartbeat, do not join. If you can go to college, go through ROTC. If you really want it, get 7 years in, especially if you're a black man, and go in as an officer. Do not go in enlisted if you can help it.
That's a shame. That's a shame. I don't know. So what's the solution for us guys?
I think it's important for men to find a circle or create your own circle of other men, like-minded brothers who have no problem and communicating, what they're going through, and just being that circle of support. I think we all need that, particularly black men. We need that, either be from a professional perspective, from a family perspective, personal, travel buddies. It's like I can sit here and say, hey, man, you guys are my travel buddies. I can reach out to you guys if I have any questions, any opportunities that I want to explore. I have that, and it's just like not too many people have that, and that's why I think a lot of guys yearn to have that. I look at Fearless wife, and with his daughter, and I see Roland doing this thing, and being an expat overseas. You giving me an opportunities for me to explore what life would be if I decided to take that route.
Hey, I told you were my inspiration, so don't flip that on me. You did it first. I'm following your footsteps.
So, I mean, the thing is, I think it's important that you guys have example, like real life examples. I know there's a lot of people on YouTube claiming that they're doing this, claiming that they're doing that, but they don't show receipts. And that's why I'm really big on receipts. I know some people are against that, but I got to see your body of work. I got to see what you're capable of doing, man. Because if I can't see what you're able to accomplish and what you're doing now, how can you give me advice on anything? Like, I could reach out to Fearless on certain things. I can reach out to Roland on certain things. But if I don't see no body of work, you're just another random person to me. So I think it's important that for men, particularly black men, to go out there and build your own community and be mindful on the type of community you want to build, because it's a lot of fakers out there, man. A lot of people that are users, and they will try to take advantage of you if you let it. Man,
what? Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so.
It's life, man.
Oh, you a wild boy for saying that, Black Man Charles. You're gonna get some hate in the chat, in the comments.
But you know what? Some people like to be sold a fantasy. And I think when people when people speak the truth on certain things, even when it comes to traveling, like, people like to be sold a fantasy. And it's just like, you see the current results. You see people getting on alive in Colombia, a lot of guys getting played overseas by certain women, getting scammed with fake real estate, because they don't want to listen to truth. They don't want to take the time to really do their own research, and they rather just go ahead and follow a bandwagon and think that this guy's an expert when technically he's not, or she, excuse me. So be mindful, man. It's like, ask a lot of questions, create your own community, go out there and meet people, like, be sociable. I mean, I could go on. I mean, Fearless, Ronin, what do you guys think?
Go ahead, Fearless.
I say, man, you need some kind of hobby. I don't care what that hobby is, but you need to be able to do something. Nah, for real. I mean, I know guys, that the way they can just get away. Some guys just like to go out in a boat and go fishing. And that's just their escape. That's their mental therapy. Say, man, I just want to go out and do it. I know some people that smoke cigars. When I go to the cigar lounge, there's just guys there, and they figure they get a big cigar. That cigar is going to take them about an hour and a half, hour, 45 minutes. And that's just how they disassociate, one puff at a time, just to say, I'm going to have this little drink, I'm going to have this little puff, and I'm able to mentally do some therapy. So you got to find something outside of that. And
if you're in Thailand, go get a soapy massage. Is that what you're saying?
You got to do it sometime. But I know people who like police officers. They say the average lifespan of a police officer after they retire is 5 years. And the reason is a lot of them, that's not only their job, that's their life. And they don't know when they retire how to do anything else. They just retire and they're like, what I do? They don't know how to come off the high. It's right. that adrenaline, that this. And when that no longer is there, they no longer have a purpose. And I know a lot of people, men, you've done something all your life. I got to help my kids out. I got to help my wife out. And then when they gone, you don't have a purpose anymore. You don't have anything you can do.
That's when the crash out happens. I'm trying to tell you.
So find your purpose, man.
I'm going to tell you this last story. Good buddy of mine. I actually met him in person. We started working for the same company, Transamerica. He was an executive vice president. He brought me in as a director. And I met him online playing video games. Both were Marines, both served in the Gulf War, Both had kids, were married at one point. He's still married. I'm divorced. And he saw me go through my crash out, and then he was like, "Nah, I'm good." I said, "No, you're not. It just hasn't hit you yet. You're still on your mission." Sure enough, his last child went to college, was graduating. By the time she moved out of the house, boom, it hit him. He crashed out. Executive vice president, almost 4,000 people working for him, making high six figures. Don't matter how much money you make. Kunal will tell you. He has very successful friends that had self-deleted themselves. It's not about the money.
Yeah.
You have very successful actors, musicians. They all have self-deleted. It's not about the money. If you guys don't understand that, understand this now. The money ain't going to make you better. All it's going to do is give you access to kill yourself quicker. Because if you're not happy inside and you can't make yourself happy inside, that money is nothing. Nothing. Means nothing to you. And after you're gone, you can't spend it.
And but believe me, somebody else can. So you better spend it while you can.
Exactly.
They all your hard work that you did, all that stuff that you saved, people will gladly spend your money the way you did not spend it.
Enjoying their lives.
Yep.
Going on multiple vacations. So yeah, your outlet, if you like to travel, you should take multiple vacations. Use all your paid time off. Don't be stacking it. Stacking it for what? What if you're not alive the next day? You got 5 weeks of vacation you got on PTO. You could have used it.
Man, I know too many guys, 400K a year passed.
Right.
Guys grinding, oh, I'm gonna do it on my retirement, never made it to their retirement.
Nope.
Within the past 5 years, I've known 5 people in their 40s died from their first heart attack. Not second, first one in their 40s. The youngest was 39.
That stress, man. It's that silent killer. And I'm going, that's what I was going through. I was like, man, I would leave me alone. I'm good.
I refuse. I'm not going back there. I refuse.
And yeah, so it's just, take care of yourself, man. I understand a lot of you guys like to flex about, you're gonna be retired, but yet you walk around with bad health. Take care of that, man. Because what I've noticed, I think even studies have shown that people after retirement within 5 years, they actually
within 5
away.
years, because of boredom, they're inactive, they don't have anything. Here's the biggest thing. You have to have a mental idea of looking forward to something. The minute you stop looking forward to something, you're done. You're done. You're not even motivated mentally to wake up the next day if you have nothing to look forward to in your life.
Yeah. So take care of yourself, black man, because no one doesn't care about you but you. If you feel like this baddie person you have in your life, she's bad and all that, man, she's giving you a headache, walk away. Because trust me, after you die, she's moving on to the next dude.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, I don't want to belabor the conversation. We've been in this for almost an hour and 30 minutes. I don't want to beat a dead horse, even though this is a great conversation to have. It's kind of a drag.
That's what mental health is, man.
Same thing with life insurance. That's why they call it life insurance. If everybody called it death insurance, let's talk about that.
I mean,
got to use reverse psychology.
This is not a fun topic, man. This is not a crash out talking about pros and doing dumb shit. It's just a real topic, man. I think this is going to benefit one person. If it benefits one person, I'm happy with that. I did my job.
Right.
So you can't expect everything to be all fun all the goddamn time, especially with what's the current climate in today's world.
Yeah, I mean, it's
one of the
dangerous out there.
One of the biggest problems is everybody got that one friend. He got the same name, And because he got the same name, they think it's not them. So that friend is called Not Me. It's like, oh, he died, but not me. And he did this, but that's not me. Well, it's somebody, because somebody's going through it, and somebody's doing that, and it's somebody, And I think that's what we always do. We say, well, it's not me.
Yeah. I had the reverse during wartime. Is anything I had a rag on, not me. You ain't getting me. You got to go. I'm going home. But yeah, so I don't think we need to open a panel on this kind of conversation. I hope on the replay, whoever's got replay value, leave comments in the comment section and give us a story of your crash out moment, or what you did in order to release that pressure off of yourself. If you haven't thought about getting therapy in person, they have a lot of different websites you can go to. BetterHelp is one. I don't have a link set up in my description, but I will maybe after this. If you're in the description, you can click on it. But go to BetterHelp. You can do some online therapy. I think all brothers should at least have some kind of a therapy session periodically, just to do a check. Even if you feel like you're good, you're not good. I'm telling you that you're not good. You do need to talk to somebody, and be honest when you talk to them. Don't bullshit them, because all you're doing is paying them to sit there and listen to your bullshit. Tell the truth. If you're going to get help, really seek the help you need.
Yep.
Anything else in closing?
No, man. Just go out there, live your best life, man. If you need to speak to somebody, feel free to reach out to me personally. I'm not afraid to put my number out there for you guys to reach out to me. Just hit me up on YouTube or DM me through my Facebook group. Hey, it's okay to go out there and make new friends, man. So I always encourage that.
Exactly.
All right, fellas. Well, I know the reason you don't see Fearless, he back there packing.
Yeah.
So you hear no cops and this and the other thing. He over there packing to get back on a plane to go back. I think you're going back to DR, or you're in DR and you're going somewhere else.
I'm back. And I don't know why I do this, man. I wait till the last minute to pack. It's BS. So I don't sleep. It messes up my whole first day.
Oh, I don't sleep before a flight either. The night before a flight, I can't sleep.
But we're going to make it.
All right, fellas, we're going to go ahead and do this outro.
All right.
And everybody else have a good night. It's my daytime here. So y'all get some rest, and I'll carry on with the rest of my Saturday.
All right, man. Be easy, bro.
All right, brothers.
Okay.
Peace.
I know I've been quiet for a minute, I've been grinding, still in it, I've been counting these digits, excuse me. I know I've been quiet for a minute, but I'm back on my business. If you see me, don't trip, just excuse me. Wrong, that's why I do me no matter what, so excuse me. Lie if I do, lie if I don't. The proof is in the story, you can see that, excuse me. The crash came when the cash came, spend it for you get it like those rookies all on draft day. For the love like it's match game, hit the ground. They really do it for my last name. They act different when the facts change. I'm not with the tip for tag games. In my own league, I don't hang with lane. I know I've been quiet for a minute, but I'm back on my business. If you see me, don't trip, just excuse me. Wrong if I do, wrong if I don't. That's why I do me no matter what, so excuse me. Lie if I do, lie if I don't.